Hi there, my name's Nina. Welcome to a special edition of Kakapo Creations podcast. I actually am going to record a proper podcast today. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I've had so many technical difficulties lately. So what I've ended up doing is I'm going to record on my phone and edit on my phone, which is something I've never done before, but I'll give it a go. So this is a video all about the inspiration behind my hand-dyed yarn. I just wanted to give people a bit of a background story, especially if you're not from New Zealand or if you've never been to New Zealand, sort of why I've chosen what I've chosen and what exactly they are, because you may not know native New Zealand birds or plants and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I thought I would start off with talking about flax, which is one of my colorways. And I've got a big pile of yarn in front of me. So this is flax. I have it on DK weight and also full ply weight. And flax is a native New Zealand plant. And it's a really common plant. It mainly grows on the coast, but lots of people use it in their gardens. It's really, start again. The Maori use the leaves of the flax plant, which are long spear-like leaves. They prepare and separate them into strips, and they use them for weaving baskets and all manner of decorations, and use them in traditional dress, that kind of thing. So they're really special in that way. They're also one of the key foods for the tui, and one of my other colorways is a tui, based on the tui. And yeah, in summer, flax have beautiful long flower stalks that grow. And like I said, the tui love to drink the nectar and the pollen from the flax. And their flowers are usually this kind of beautiful orangey red. Pollen is yellow, and the stalks that come out of the plants are usually this kind of purpley grey kind of colour. So yeah, I had to do a yarn based on flax, and yeah, I've been over the spiel so many times, so I've actually recorded this, and probably last time I recorded it, it sounded better to me. So if it sounds a bit convoluted, it's just because I'm doing it on a whim. I'm not actually like reading from notes or anything, so just coming out of my head basically. So next color I'll talk about is fuchsia, and this is fuchsia, and this is a one-off base, not a one-off color, but a one-off base, which is soft yarn, and that's like right in front of the camera. Here we go. So fuchsia is based on a tree called Fuchsia excordicata, and it's also called tree fuchsia. It's a native tree in New Zealand, and it has lovely magenta and purple coloured flowers. And the special thing about tree fuchsia, is the pollen on the flowers is actually blue, which is quite strange. So quite often, if you had a beehive here in New Zealand, if you had blue cells full of pollen, the bees will be collecting tree fuchsia pollen. So there you go. And yeah, tree fuchsia is deciduous, and it's one of the trees that I studied when I did horticulture. So I did a whole assignment where I had to go out and photograph trees and plants and flower, and this is one of the ones I chose just because I think it's pretty. And when they do lose their leaves, they have amazing papery bark underneath. They're really pretty. So it's fuchsia. Next I will talk about, let's talk about Kakapo, shall we? So, of course, here he is, the lovely Kakapo on my label. Of course I had to design a colorway based on the Kakapo. And if you haven't heard the story behind the Kakapo, Kakapo are a critically endangered species of bird here in New Zealand. They are a nocturnal parrot, and at the moment the only live population is actually on an island off the coast of New Zealand, so that's Codfish Island, and there's a devoted team of people who look after them and are trying to increase their numbers. I think currently there's about 150 Kakapo alive at the moment, so they're very slow breeders, and they're very vulnerable to pests. So this island is completely excluded of all pests, so rats, stoats, possums, dogs, cats, that kind of thing. But they're just amazing birds. And I did actually have the chance to see one up close in real life a few years ago. There's a travelling Kakapo, his name is Sirocco, and he's like the ambassador for the Kakapo. Yeah, but this colourway, I mean, yeah, that's exactly the same colour as a Kakapo. And they have a yellow front and beautiful striking feathers and tail. And this is my only speckled yarn at the moment, so far. We'll see. We may have more in the future. So that's Kakapo. So next I will talk about Kuru. And here's Kuru on 8-ply, which is the top skein, and 4-ply, which is the bottom skein. And Kuru is based on basically any kind of fern that the fronds of a fern are curled up into a spiral before they unfurl. And Kuru is really important symbol of New Zealand and is used a lot in Maori art. A lot of greenstone carvings. This is my greenstone. That's actually a fishhook. But a lot of greenstone are carved in Kuru, and I guess Kuru is like a symbol of new beginnings, life. But yeah, this is based on a particular type of fern called the black tree fern, and they have magnificent Kurus, and they are like a light limey green, and they fade into brown, and then this vibrant, or should I say stark black. So yeah, that's the story behind Kuru. It's just based on ferns. And next up is Kiru, which is kind of a hard word to say, and I didn't used to be able to pronounce it, but if you can't pronounce Kiru, you can just call them wood pigeons, because that's their other name. So yeah, Kiru is based on a native bird called a wood pigeon. And wood pigeons are like basically giant, colourful pigeons. They're really plump and funny looking things, I reckon. You often hear them before you see them. They don't really call very much. I don't think I've ever actually heard a wood pigeon call, but you can hear their wings as they swoop from tree to tree. And they're actually a really common bird, so they're nowhere near as rare as Kakapo. But yeah, this is wood pigeon. And they have beautiful iridescent feathers, sort of fade. Their head is sort of a pink, and then they fade into a sort of a red, a yellow, and then a green, this beautiful emerald green, which I've tried to capture. I don't think I've quite done it justice, but as far as colourway goes, yeah, It's alright. So that's Kiru. And my voice is just, I don't know what it is about podcasting. Maybe it's because when you talk to a camera, you don't really stop talking. You don't pause to think, like if you were just having a normal conversation with somebody. So it just makes my throat really raw. So I'm going to have some tea. That's a bit better. Okay. Next is Tui. This is Tui on TK base. And I will be dyeing up more of Tui, because this is the only skein I have so far. Tui is another native bird, New Zealand. Tui are special because they make some amazing noises, I guess. Not only do they sing, and not only do they mimic other birds and people, well, not actually speaking like a parrot would, you know what I mean? Mimicking like whistling sounds. They also make some really strange guttural sounds, so they make sounds like and whoop, that kind of thing. And they have lovely plumage as well. They have sort of iridescent dark greeny blue, and they have a little white wattle under their beak. Tuis are, they're quite territorial. Where we used to live in Dunedin, there was one particular Tui who would sing every day in spring. He would sing the same song every day. And he came back year after year pretty much, and he would quite often be swooping other birds around, so like a blackbird or something. He'd swoop and try and scare them away. But yeah, Tui's are, I guess, close to my heart as well. Next is Poro Poro. This is Poro Poro on full ply. Oops. Full ply, and I realized with the labels it's actually harder to see. It's actually harder to see the yarn, which is why I have photos on my listings without labels. So Poro Poro is not a particularly special plant. I did study it. It was one of the plants I chose to study. They have pretty flowers. They're considered a bit of a weed, really. They are related to the nightshade family, so potatoes, capsicum, eggplant, tomatoes, that kind of thing. They are toxic plants, so they do have these berries on them that look like they'd be very tasty, but they're not. And they have purple flowers with a yellow centre. And it's probably one of my favourite colourways. Just because I love purple. Purple's my favourite colour. And yeah, Poro Poro is, like I said, pretty much a weed. It sort of pops up anywhere, everywhere and anywhere. And yeah, that's Poro Poro. Next is Lichen. So Lichen, I guess, is a bit of a tribute to the trip from Dunedin up to Nelson, where we now live. And the reason why I chose lichen was because a lot of the trees on Lewis Pass, the beech trees, had lichen growing all over them. And it just creates this really pretty ethereal look when a tree is covered in lichen, or minty green kind of colour. Yeah, so that's lichen, and it's not based on any particular type of lichen because I don't really know much about lichens. I would like to. So maybe that's something I'll research in the future. That's lichen, and that's also on full ply base. I think the full ply base, I mean, I like the 8 ply base, it's really nice and squishy. The 4 ply base is really nice and delicate. I would love to test this out and knit a shawl for my 4 ply base. Next is Fjord. This is Fjord on 8-ply. And Fjord is based on my first trip to New Zealand. So before we moved to New Zealand, we took a trip here 2010, so nearly 8 years ago. So yeah, sorry, I had a little bit of a coughing fit then. Fjord is based on the trip we took at the South Island in 2010, and we visited Fiordland National Park, and oh my god, does anyone else have this problem? That's a bit better. Breathe. Yeah, so Fjord is based on our trip to Doubtful Sound, which is a fjord on the southwest coast of New Zealand. We spent a whole day traveling to and around Doubtful Sound, and it was just the most stunning place. We were lucky enough to take a trip on a small ferry and see the amazing mountains and waterfalls, and the place where the ocean meets the fjord. And this is just, yeah, I guess this colour it sort of captures that particular trip. It's just really special, really. I haven't actually been back to Fiordland since I moved to New Zealand, so perhaps one day I will go back there. But I believe that's all the current colourways I have at the moment. So yeah, those are all the colourways. I will have another video up soon for my next shop update, which will be tomorrow night, Thursday night in New Zealand time. And I will talk about the colourways, the new colourways, and their inspiration as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like. And yeah, enjoy your day, and I will be back soon. Bye.